Hi there. Today about how can you know if someone is enlightened? What are signs of enlightenment? This video is an attempt to answer the questions from the viewer in relation to a number of people out there who are passing themselves as enlightened and wanting to teach, instruct other people how to get enlightened themselves. So how do you know whether they're true, whether they're genuinely enlightened, or whether they're just doing it for some other reasons? There are signs, and there are ways to look at them and listen to them to understand whether they are genuinely enlightened or not. Now, let me say this: no one can teach you enlightenment. Enlightenment is a process, a gradual process. What they can do is guide you to the start of the path. And once you enter the path, then the stream takes you and you start uncovering all the knowing inside the still part of the mind. But of course, it's very important to, if you're looking for the guidance in someone to actually help you on the way or help you get started, it's important to find the right person, not just the person who is actually enlightened themselves in the various stages of enlightenment, but a person who can actually relate this and guide you in a way that sort of is in sync with your needs, with your situation, with your circumstances, that actually talks to you, that what they say means something to you, that their demeanour, their presence touches you. These are all very important things when you look for people who are truly enlightened and who can actually help you to get there yourself. So enlightenment as a gradual process means that you are moving from the surface level of the mind, being caught inside the thoughts, deeper and deeper into the still part of the mind. So enlightened people are always residing in the still part of the mind, deep inside, with peace, silence, balance, emptiness. And they're like open channels. They sort of let through all this peace coming out, and you can feel it. You can get touched by this peace and balance that's coming out and is being felt around this person who is enlightened, who is on a path. On the other hand, the people who are not enlightened, they're sort of caught inside the surface thoughts. They're always juggling mental concepts. They're always drowning in words. They're always using a lot of words with a ring, like, enlightenment, transformation, and this and that, like trying to suck people in. And it's very important to also look at these people when they're not talking, when they're silent. Hopefully there are times when they're silent, otherwise just cross them out. You see, with enlightened people, they reside in silence, they speak with silence, they communicate with silence. But people who are not enlightened, they sort of, they're awkward with silence, they sort of don't like silence. Silence is just something they have to fill in with more words and more words. I mean, it's a world of difference. It's also when you look at the way they look, their gaze, their gaze with the enlightened people, their gaze is pointed is always at a certain point. They're not moving around their gaze. They might move around the head, but not the gaze, because they're always looking at the mind. They're always looking inside at the same time. People who are not enlightened, they are sort of, moving around their eyes all the time. They are sort of looking around. They are sort of moving with the thoughts in their eyes, and the whole body is moving with the thoughts because they're caught inside the mental concepts, and they're fluctuating up and down, up and down. The enlightened people are never fluctuating. They're always still. They're always at peace. They're always balanced. Because you see, the inner experience that you have once on the path is so much stronger and so much more important than anything you can possibly experience on the surface level. So enlightened people are not pushing themselves. They're not striving to achieve anything. They're not out there to prove any point. They just are. They're sort of, not everyone who is enlightened is helping other people or guiding other people to get enlightened. Everyone has a different path. Once you're inside the stream, everyone is taken in a different direction. So people who are doing it as enlightened people are just doing it as part of the stream. in sync with the natural mind. But the non-enlightened people, they're obviously striving, they're trying to gain something, to achieve something, they're trying to, there are various reasons why they would be doing what they're doing, but it's not connected with anything inside the mind. Also, be practical. I mean, look at the background of the person who is maybe trying to guide you or teach you or help you along the way. What is the practice? Always just, follow the people or listen to people who are practicing, who are actively doing spiritual practice. What is the practice? What they do for living? For how long have they been practicing? And so on, stuff like that. How they live, questions like that. Be sort of very careful when you're choosing a person to take guidance from, because you might be wasting a lot of time and effort on the wrong track and not really getting anywhere. And trust your intuition. Look at the person who you may be seeking guidance from and ask yourself a question. Do I want this person to guide me to enlightenment or to, getting to know the truth about what is? And trust the answer. Trust yourself in these things. Trust your intuition on that level when you're sort of not inside the mind yet, but still on the surface level. And then also, you want, like, when I was starting out and looking for people or whatever to help me, listening to spiritual readings and stuff like that, I always looked for people who can practically give very detailed instructions. I think the details are very important. People who are enlightened can give you very, very detailed instructions about how to move inside the mind, about how to get to know the mind, observe the mind, and so on and so on. While people who are just sort of selling this enlightenment concept just from, reading about it or listening to it from what other people are saying and then just juggling the words, they're very scarce on detail about the practice itself. So be mindful of all these things. There are many, many things that you can sort of really be mindful of. And, try and trust your intuition too. Anyway, this is just an attempt to sort of clarify these things a little bit and hopefully that I could help you with that. Take care. Bye-bye.